All right. Are you ready, Cindy?
Yes.
Court is calling 2025 CR 012469 and 2024 CR 01259, State versus Richard Nelton Baker. And are you Mr. Baker? All right, you entered a plea and cause number 2024 CR 012590 of no contest to the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And you also entered a plea of no contest to count one and cause number 2024 CR 012469 for the offense of assault family household member with a previous conviction. There was a PSI and TAP evaluation ordered. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation?
We have, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None, Judge.
All right. And the cause numbers, the defense has applied for deferred adjudication. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Baker wishes to address the court. I'll call him as a witness.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sure.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. Baker, are you a veteran of the U.S. military?
Yes, sir.
How long did you serve?
16 years.
16 years?
Yes.
Do you have any service-connected disability?
PTSD.
What is the cause of your PTSD?
Overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Did-
I have to at school, I take my test alone. Reading and concentration. Standing on my left leg. I have surgery on my left leg also.
Do you have psychiatric
Yeah,
issues
that-
other than the
yeah.
PTSD?
Yes, sir.
What are those?
Being around certain people, guns, and being compensated.
Do you suffer from hypervigilance?
Yes.
Have you struggled with any kind of substance abuse?
No, sir.
During your time since you've separated from the service, have you continued to seek treatment from the Veterans Administration?
Yes, at the psych ward at the VA. It's every 6 months.
Other than those twice a year,
Lots of medicine.
what kinds of medicines are you on?
Sertraline, topromat, posine, trazodone. Stuff for high blood pressure.
Does the trazodone help with your hypervigilance?
Yes. Yes.
You realize why you're here today?
Yes, sir.
We're asking the judge to place you on some kind of community supervision, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know that if she does sentence you to some kind of community supervision, you'll be required to report to probation?
Yes, sir.
You'll may be required to do some time in an inpatient treatment program to make sure that you're safe from yourself and folks in the community are safe.
Yes, as long as I get the help.
Is that what you're
Yes.
seeking? Do you feel like the Veterans Administration, despite their best efforts, has not been giving you the help that maybe you could
I can
benefit
use a little
from?
bit more.
You could use some more.
Yes.
And so what specifically is your request of Judge Floyd?
Turn to anger management. And for probation.
And do you understand that if you take deferred adjudication probation and you violate it, you can be sent to prison for 20 years and you would have to do half of that time before you would even be allowed to ask to
Yes,
get
sir.
out early.
Yes, sir.
And that doesn't mean you would get out early. Ask the witness, Judge.
Any questions?
Serving in the military?
Yes, sir.
For your service.
Thank
Now you've mentioned that you have suffered from issues since being released from the military.
Yes, sir.
The medication that you were talking about that you would have to take to help you with your issues, were you taking it on the day
No,
of
sir.
the offenses?
No, I did not have a prescription refilled at the time.
Why is that?
The VA is backed up because the certain stuff is a narcotic. Prozozin, and it takes about a week. And I just ordered it 2 days prior to the incident.
Okay.
And I didn't have transportation to get to the VA to get the medicine.
Now, if you mentioned that you had issues with weapons, why was a weapon involved in one of your charges?
That was an incident I should not have grabbed. That was a mistake of mine. That was a household weapon.
How were you mistaken?
I should not have grabbed. When I saw what had happened, I overreacted. And it was like I was back over in Iraq.
Okay, so you felt that firing the weapon into
Yes.
the vehicle was a bad decision? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
sir, exactly.
I don't know if I have questions, Ron.
No more questions, Judge.
All right, I have questions if there's no,
No objection, Judge. He did want allocution, so conferring with the court is a great idea.
all right. So you've been on probation before
Yes, ma'am.
for assault, bodily injury, family household.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're telling me that at that time you didn't gain control of your anger?
I took the anger management class with Mr. DeSoto, and I learned, actually, he recommended me to nursing school.
All right, that was 2018.
Okay. When I started school in 2000, 2 years ago, we still keep in contact. And I still take my medicine, but at the time I was not taking it because I was worried about school.
So you're worried about school, so that's why you're not taking.
No, I did not have the medicine at that time because
Mhm.
at the time the VA was backlogged.
All right. And then any objections to the court reviewing the PSI report?
None, Judge.
All right. So then my other question is, in the PSI report, tell me what's going on with you and your mother?
Well, I have issues with my brother, actually.
No.
Okay.
That's not my question.
Nothing with my mom.
All right. So why were there items of hers that were pawned? Did she give you permission to pawn her wedding?
Yes.
So she gave you permission to pawn her wedding ring. She gave you permission.
I
Hmm?
also let her have, she's on my account at the bank. I told her to get everything out.
I'm sorry, you
I told
what?
her to get everything out using my account. She's on my account.
So wait a minute though. So you're telling the court that she told you to pawn all the televisions in the house and that she told you to pawn her wedding ring
And my computer.
and her lamp.
Yeah.
And you were not, because they're saying that you were using drugs.
Okay. I've never had an issue with drugs.
Then I don't understand your issue then, because you've been given chances with anger management.
The money was used for bills, ma'am. Because I was not working at school. I'm work program study. And I'm 100% disabled with the military.
Your brother says that you have a drug problem. And then this is what is said in here. It says, my son Patrick was in another place, and later I found out he was doing things that were contrary to our belief system. He stole money from my pension, and I gradually found a way to do things by having Patrick come live with me. Then I was able to see a part of what Ricky was doing. He was having women come over. They were supposed to be college studies, but he wasn't. This broke my heart. We later found out that he was on drugs and he assaulted Patrick, and he had just had surgery on his foot. He attacked Patrick and scared me to death. I told Patrick to leave him alone because he already had his foot in a boot. When this was over, Ricky had been hit, but he was the aggressor. Patrick was trying to do the right thing. When Ricky hit Patrick, it was right in the abdomen, and he was in pain for 2 weeks or so. That instigated the police to come. Ricky was laissez-faire about everything. He writes letters all the time. I'm positive he wants people to say nice things about him. Ricky is not telling people to write letters to, Ricky is now telling people to write letters to his mom to tell me to quit talking to the DA's office. He writes 6 letters per day and tells Patrick to quit talking to the DA's office. I love my son. I love both my sons. I was raised by a good family. I would rather Ricky stay in prison for a while to learn what he has done. He is a good man, but he has gone crazy, in my opinion. He has also attacked me after my husband died, and I was not treated as a mother for a long while. I was verbally abused, called stupid, and the C word. That's just not what he was raised to do. I don't love the fact that my son is going to prison, but Lord, please put him in prison for a while. There have been times that he has pushed me down and put both hands on my shoulders and pushed me. He has a drug habit. I don't want to lose him. I'm 85 and I really love my children, but the best thing is to get him treatment in a good place where he can go to work, like food or mechanical jobs. Just don't put him in prison to do nothing. We want to support him, but I would rather he be in jail with support. And if that doesn't work, I don't know what to do. He needs to be there and he needs to have something to do there. And we will go see him on a monthly basis. I gradually realized he is using me. And then Patrick says, I'm not asking for any restitution. I didn't have any medical bills. All I ask for is for him to act right. He can't smoke dope all day and steal from our mom. So here's the thing. I believe what your mom's saying. I believe you were abusive to her. So are you saying you were not abusive to her? You didn't push her down?
At one time, that's when I hit the last case,
All right.
2000, I put my hands on her.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
you,
was
and
the
how
last
old are
time.
you? How old are you?
51.
You shouldn't be living with your mom anyway. And then I do believe that you were pawning her stuff without her permission. And let me ask you something. Did she love your dad? All right, so there's no way if she loved your dad that she would be asking you to pawn her rings. And the only reason why she got some of her items back is because the neighbor said that they recognized that as hers and they bought them back from the pawn shop for her. So here you are in your mom's home, being abusive to her. She's afraid of you. And you're using PTSD as an excuse
Yes.
to run amok and not do anything. And then this thing with the Lyft driver is not good either. And let me see where that is. Victim stated he is a Lyft driver and was dispatched to pick up victim 2. Victim stated he was driving to the pickup location, your address. He received a message from victim 2 stating for victim 1 to hurry because victim 2 was in danger from you. Victim 1 stated victim 2 got into victim 1's listed vehicle to depart the pickup location. Victim stated as they were driving away, suspect, that's you, caught up with victim, cut them off. And then when they're driving away, you're firing into their vehicle. They could have died. And then he's not supposed to have a weapon because of that previous family violence case. So why do you have a weapon anyway? Yeah, that's not supposed to be. So I'm not going to grant his motion. Do you have restitution hearing? I mean,
Yes. On the other case for the restitution, he's a bit to live from.
all right, let's hear the hearing on restitution. In each case, I'm going to find you guilty. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Hello, Laquel Calloway.
All right, so my understanding from the state is there may be some restitution issues. Is that correct, state?
Sure.
All right, you may question the witness regarding restitution.
Mr. Cowell?
Good morning.
Now, this incident resulted in damage to the vehicle that you were driving that vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Was that your personal vehicle or was it a business vehicle?
My personal vehicle.
And what happened after the damage was done to your vehicle? Did you try and get it fixed?
I tried to get it fixed at a body shop and Uber would not cover it, nor State Farm. I originally had State Farm insurance. They won't cover it because of the nature of the incident. And then 2, Uber does have coverage, but Uber will only cover after $2,500. So basically I had to come out of pocket.
Okay.
And I had to replace the windshield sneakers.
Okay, let's take this one at a time.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Where'd you go to get your vehicle fixed?
I went to Caliber Collision on Austin Highway, Center.
Okay, did you meet with someone there about the damage to your vehicle?
Yes,
Okay, did he, along with you, inspect the vehicle for the damage?
yes, sir.
What type of damage was done to your vehicle after that?
And the type of damage that was done was it was shot up on the back by the gas tank. Bullets went through my seats and headrest, almost hit my head. Bullets also hit the dash, and several bullets went through the windshields.
Okay, and did talk about what it would cost to have damage to your vehicle fixed?
Yes.
Or do they tell you every time?
Yes.
An estimate for how much it would cost you.
Yes.
And did you review that estimate with them?
Yes, sir.
What was the amount that was decided to think was for the total damage to your vehicle fixed?
Total damage, so it's, and I just calculated, there's 2,900 plus 600 for the front of the windshield. About 3,500.
Pay for all that to get your vehicle fixed?
Yes, I had to get a loan from rental.
Okay, so you had to pay out of your own pocket for that?
Yes.
Okay. Is the vehicle now repaired?
No, I had to rent it.
Why
It,
not?
it was officially repaired, but I just rented it because I couldn't.
Okay, but the mechanical problems were fixed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you incur any other expenses as a result of this incident?
Yes, I had to surrender my vehicle because I couldn't pay it no more. That was how I was making my ride sharing. I lost my job with Uber because of the incident of the shooting. The fact that it was a shooting involved. And then I couldn't afford the loan that I used to try to get the van out of the shop because again, that was what I needed to make money. I also lost my nursing school program. I was in the BSN program for registered nursing. And I lost that because that's how I was paying for tuition. Yeah, it's a domino effect. I lost everything.
Have you incurred any additional expenses beyond?
Yes, occurred for my medication that I now have to take. I've also incurred debt because of the vehicle and the loan I couldn't pay. And
Anything else?
it's pretty much other than my tuition debt.
I'm not looking for this, I'll pass through this.
You said you borrowed $3,500,
No, that's the total.
Oh. but you paid approximately or right at about $3,500 for the repairs to the vehicle, am I
Yes, sir.
correct?
Uh-huh.
And all of that $3,500 went to the repairs to the vehicle, right?
Yes.
No questions, Judge.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
I'll
any
check
further questions?
I'm just gonna tender this to defense and enter into evidence too, if he has an objection.
No objection, Judge. I've already looked at it. It basically serves to show you the damages to the vehicle.
All right, sir, what I can tell you is there are some amounts of restitution that I'm allowed to order, and then there are some I'm not allowed to order. The restitution to your vehicle, I'm allowed to give you that. But everything that happened because of that, that's more of a civil matter. So you're being out of work. I'm not allowed to give you restitution for whatever you would have made if you would have been able to work as an Uber driver or had your car. But I am allowed to give you the money for the vehicle and what's related to this case directly. Okay. Is there anything else? All right, thank you. Thank you for coming down twice. All right, this is what the court is going to do. In 2024 CR 012590, court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This is run concurrent with 2024 CR 012469. There's to be no contact with LaCale Calloway. There's to be restitution of $3,500 to LaCale Calloway. I'll order the therapeutic community to help you with whatever issues you say you have. In 2024 CR 012469, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. This is run concurrent with 2024 CR 012590. Take in consideration 2024 CC 740803. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Patrick Baker, Jerry Baker, or want to order the therapeutic community. So you're not allowed to have any contact with any of those people I mentioned. You're not allowed to have any more contact with your mother. You're not allowed to have any contact with your brother. If for some reason they want to have contact with you, then they'll need to file the proper cases or the proper motions to have that happen. But I'm not allowing the contact. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the
May I
thing.
address the court
Yes.
before we go off the record?
All right, we're on the record. Yes.
I would ask that any monies that he pays once he is out on parole or once he discharges his sentence, that monies that he pays goes to the restitution. But I know how the parole board will be. They'll put some of that money to the fine the court assessed. I'd ask the court to reconsider the fines on the cases, zero those fines out so that Mr. Baker, as a disabled veteran, can pay with his disability checks that he's not getting while incarcerated, can pay back the complainant in the case.
I'll make an, I'm not going to zero out the fines, but I'll make an order that the court is requesting that in cause number 2024 CR 012590, that restitution takes precedent over all fine and fees.
Thank you.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I understand mental health, but you can't use your mental health as excuses to be violent towards people. You previously received help for that, and I guess, you didn't follow through. And you're saying that you don't have a drug problem, but your mom and your brother are saying you have a drug problem. Anytime you push your mom, hit your mom, sell her items, that tells me you have a drug problem. So you're going to have to look internally with yourself and find out what is going on with you and why you're doing what you're doing to your family. You understand? All right. When you're released from prison, if you can't find a place to go to get help, if I'm still here, you can come here. I'll find a placement for you. All right. Good luck to you. All right. Victim impact, please.
Raquel Cameron. The first few days after my attempted murder on August 3rd, 2023, I spent sleepless and stressed. During this time, I felt a range of emotions, but I mostly felt helpless during this period. Anxiety triggers a fight or flight response, releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones can increase stomach acid, leading to acid reflux and ulcers, tighten stomach muscles causing cramping and pain, slow digestion, leading to bloating and constipation, all of which I experienced 3 times due to hepatitis colitis. During the long hours and days at my BSN program and work, my thoughts continually drifted to Baker and the prostitute. As the hours turned into days, the question arose how I was going to pay for my registered nursing education. I had already started clinicals and was in scrubs. I even passed full body assessments, which is difficult without any paperwork and going off of memory only. Considering my mind was clouded and distracted with trauma due to not having a vehicle to perform rideshare, I had to withdraw from the program. Not because I failed, because I passed my courses, I just couldn't no longer afford it because. As the months pass, I haven't healed. The scars I will carry are a reminder of how close I came to death and graduation. The emotional roller coaster is never ending. I held anger at a man and woman who was freely walking the streets, who I believe had no conscience for attempting to take my life, but he chose to shoot at me. They both showed no remorse as the prostitute tried getting away with comments such as my son has a disability and I have one for Winchester Police Department before she was arrested. Baker having the nerve to call the cops continuing to play victim, thinking I was dead. Here I am denied opportunity to continue my college education and registered nursing for the winter quarter to be able to focus at work, to ride or drive a car without riding. My family has witnessed and continued their ongoing mental pain and struggle with my emotions. As I waited for the legal process to unfold, I took time off of work to attend today and the day before. Preparing to go to trial, the roller coaster of emotions continue. Every day I feel frustration that the man and the prostitute did this to me and continue to escape the legal ramifications I hope will befall them. When I arrived at the body shop, I was stunned at the appearance of the van that clearly showed how blessed I was to be alive. It remains a mystery how Baker and the prostitute walked away unscathed after seeing how mangled the van was at me and the prostitute's right hand. It seems the dawning of a new year will never hold the same promise for me. Instead of looking for possibilities of the coming year, I'm experiencing anxiety, frightful memories, and anger.
I only hope that with each passing year, the meaning of the bright new year will hold more than painful memories. I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, as well as post-traumatic stress disorder. I've even taken classes in HCL for nightmares. I can't see my words and stuff. That's it. I also think I can afford to pay it without doing ratchet, so I had to surrender it. None of this would have happened or occurred if the prosecutor didn't decide to use Uber and call 911 instead. She was also at great fault with Baker, and she received more than a misdemeanor for my attempted murder. Now, over a year later, I asked this court to consider the magnitude and impact of the crime on my body and my family and my daughters. I'm seeking and requesting that, of course, sorry. He wasn't supposed to be around any firearms. He also has a history of committing crimes. I witnessed that myself on the internet. And lastly, I would ask your honor to consider sending Mr. Baker to the maximum sentence under the law, as any time spent incarcerated is nothing compared to what he and the prosecutor has caused myself and my family to experience for a lifetime. Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you.
And Judge,
Yes,
you had previously stated that you would allow the
yes.
victim's
Who's,
father to make a short statement.
yes.
How you doing, Judge?
Hello.
My name is Mr. John L. Calloway Jr. I'm the kid's daddy. He caused a lot of pain to my son for no reason at all. My son is a good son. He is a good person. And then him using the excuse that that he has problems. Well, if you had problems, you should have went and got treated for those problems. And I'm like this: restitution, it should be $20,000. And 6 years in the pen should be 10 years. He almost killed my son. You know what that's like to be shot at with a gun? For somebody, for you to just be doing your job, like if I'm sitting right here, and then someone comes in, bam. You know how scary that is? Do anybody know how scary that is? Well, I tell you what, if it was me,
All right, so sir. No, here's the thing. So this is what I tell everybody when they're giving victim impact statements. I understand, I do. The anger that people feel because that's your son. I understand that your son's life could have easily ended that day, not because he was doing something wrong, but because of the actions of someone else.
yes,
But
ma'am.
this is what I've discovered in my time in this world and on this planet. I've been a defense attorney and I've been a prosecutor. And do you know the most touching victim impact statements that I've heard that will really be impactful is when people keep the tone right here, don't show anger, and just talk to people. Because what I've discovered is when people talk very loud and they're shouting, everybody just shut down and close off because they feel, okay, they're shouting at me, they're angry, I'm not even going to listen to this. So that's what I impart to you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I suggest you do, bring your tone down to here, right? Because you're angry, you're upset because your son, life was put in danger. And all that he's worked for, he's on a different path now because there was a domino effect based upon what happened to him.
Yes, ma'am.
So gonna need you to lower the tone,
Yes, ma'am.
all right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what I can tell you is sometimes the state and the defense will reach plea bargain agreements. And there are a host of reasons why they reach those plea bargain agreements. My job as a judge is to look at that and make a decision on whether or not it's appropriate. The plea agreement in this case was a cap of 6 years in the prison. So what does that mean? That means that the court could sentence him anywhere from 6 to 2 years. That's it. Otherwise, there would be a jury trial. And we have a lot of trials in this courtroom. We're currently in a capital murder trial.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have back-to-back trials. So this trial would have taken place at a much later date. So I want to ask you, take a deep breath. As they say, woosah.
Yes, ma'am.
And then just speak in a tone where people will have their ears open to listen.
Yes, sir.
Now, so if you want to tell him, hey, you impacted my life because this is my son. I love my son. And parents should not be outliving their children, especially due to acts of violence. If you want to tell him that, then tell him that, but keep it level, okay?
So you said I can talk directly to him?
Yes, but
Yes, sir.
let's all be respectful.
I'll stay calm, yes.
All
sir.
right.
Excuse me, sir.
My apologies.
You was in the service, right?
Yeah.
I was too. I'm an ex-Marine. I'm a trained government killer. And I'll be having problems just like anybody else. But I don't go around putting guns at people and shooting at people no matter what. I mean, I understand that the prostitute, she messed up and she made you angry. But there's better ways, my brother. You need real help. You need spiritual help. Somebody needs to give you a holy Bible when you go in there. You need to read the Holy Bible once a day. If it's just one chapter a day, just read the Holy Bible. You need some mental help. You need some drug help. You need some alcohol help. You need a lot of help. I know you've been attacked spiritually. I already know that. I saw that when you were sitting over there the other day. You've been attacked spiritually. But you gotta ask God and Jesus Christ for help. You gotta ask God and Jesus Christ every day to help you and save your life. I know what's going on with you. You've been attacked spiritually every single day. But you gotta want to live that right life for God and Jesus Christ and Holy Spirit. The devil is attacking you for a reason. And he's trying to stop you from doing God's work. So my brother, hey man, like I said, you're my brother in Jesus Christ. We all brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. All of us. And you gotta understand something. If you take somebody's life, you can't say sorry enough. I've already lost 2 sons. And this is my last living son. I don't want nothing to happen to him. I don't want nobody to do nothing to him, just like you wouldn't want nobody to do nothing to your children. I care for him. If he needed a part of my body, I would tell him, hey, cut me and take what you need and give it to him. This is my blood son. This is my last living son. I don't want nothing or nobody to mess with. But you understand what I'm telling you, right?
All right. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, people get angry sometimes. Who's out there shouting? Isn't it a little bit too early for Fiesta?
Never too early for Fiesta, dude.
Hmm,
It's never too early for Fiesta.
That's so true. But they say they're going to have, I hope my medals come in on time, but they're saying they're having a medal giveaway during the Pachanga. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes. That's gonna be terrible.
I used to say Pachanga, but people said
I call
no.
it Jenga.
Yeah.
Pachanga.
So they're saying they're giving it away. So we need to make sure that we are there to represent the 187th and get our medals.
I'll be on medal duty.
All right, I'm gonna make that happen. It says only 1 per person while supplies last.
Which pachanga is that you're on?
They started doing one every year that is between the 2 buildings. The old courthouse and the new courthouse.
Yes, that's it.
Because
Yes.
TCDLA does one. They used to do it for 35 years at our house.
Oh.
Christine's nixed that after. It's now at Beethoven Hall.
Well, if I show up at your home, just know I'm there for Pachanga.
A lot of people actually come
Yeah.
regardless, even though she puts the sign out. And
Well, usually I
none of
don't.
my friends follow instructions well.
Well, usually I don't celebrate Fiesta here because usually I'm with my mom for her birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. I will let her know you said that. But supposedly it starts at 11 a.m. So that means that we need to do by 10 a.m. And I think Deputy Laura, it was only last year that I discovered mangonadas?
Mangonadas
Oh my,
and chicken on a stick.
okay, let me just tell you right now, nobody should be putting a chicken on a stick. I mean, doesn't a chicken already come with a bone in it? Why do you need it on a stick?
I don't get.
Like fried Oreos or something.
I remember the first time I went to Fiesta when I was in law school. I went to, what is the New Orleans ones? What is the
Taste of New Orleans.
Taste of New Orleans? And so I said, let me see if this is really tasting like New Orleans. I get there, somebody said, oh, we're gonna have pork chop on a stick. And I'm like, how do you put a pork chop on a stick? And let me just tell you, you can put a pork chop on a stick.
Put anything on the stick and fry it.
Okay, let me just tell you,
Right.
this is what I've discovered. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it because I think it's the truth. In the town where I'm from, there was this great barbecue place called Silver Moon Barbecue. And as a treat, I would say like once a month, my mom and my grandmother, we could get barbecue from there, right? And everybody went there, and it was a hole in the wall place. Like you had the train tracks, and then behind it, this whole grassy area, and it was backed up, small place, best barbecue in the world. Well, when people would go to the clubs, not me or my family, you know, people are drinking.
Yeah.
They would end up with bad barbecue because they're not getting the fresh barbecue because they've been drinking.
Yeah.
We're happy. So my mom and grandmother would go and they would say, we want fresh barbecue. So at Fiesta, I see alcohol booths everywhere. So I just, you know, I'm just throwing that out there and tying that with the food.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought you were in Auburn.
But I actually had agreed to work a booth when I was in law school. It was the pretzel booth.
Oh.
How hard can it be making pretzels? Oh, well, you know, I'm being all cute out there. I have on my shorts and the wind is blowing and all of the grass on St. Mary's campus has been destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had wind blowing and sand hitting your legs? Painful. And then some people were tipsy. One guy came to the booth.
Some people.
I'm just gonna say some. A guy was tipsy. He came to the booth and I'm with my friend. And he told my friend he was gonna go get his horse and, you know, grab her and ride off into the sun with sunset with her. And she's like, buddy, you're not taking me anywhere. But those were the days. And then we got up the next morning, the campus was destroyed.
Yeah.
When people see a trash can and it's full, there's, let's throw the trash on the ground.
Going to his grave.
Okay, Vashawn, you know what song was in my head this morning? Margaritaville.
That's all Red said.
Yes.
So now, and Vashawn, that's for somebody who doesn't even drink.
And I
but
know.
it just sounds like a good song, you know, people just relaxing on the beach. But Vashawn, I have tasted tequila before. And you know what's so funny about it? People were trying to tell me how to do it. And they're saying, oh, you need to lick your hand. I'm like, that's unsanitary. Like, let me go wash my hands first. And when we were in Scotland, you could go to different towns where they made, I guess they're known for their whiskey or scotch or whatever. And there's one town, I'm telling you, that entire town smelled like alcohol. And we're sitting there. I'm not going to tell the people who went because we were there for a international CLE. So I'm not going to mention any names, but we went to this distillery and it was beautiful. The flowers were beautiful and everything. So they were passing out free drinks to everybody. And the people I was with there, they were saying, yes, Stephanie, we'll take that. I'm like, thank you very much because it smells bad. But we were in Paris for CLE Bashan. And so money is flowing because it looks like play money. You don't even think of it as you're spending $300 a day, right? And so finally we're sitting down to dinner and everybody has ordered their drinks. I was very fond of this drink that's sort of a lemon drink, but it's carbonated. And so they bring you these tiny glasses.
Yeah.
There's no medium, small, large, extra large. So I had ordered two. So the bill comes. And because everybody's spending $300 a day, money is starting to get tight. So we're sitting at the table dividing up the bill. And so
I'm sorry.
I say, whoever spent $40, the equivalent of $40 for drinks, you all need to pay your bill, right? And so we look at it and they say, Stephanie, that was you. Your two sodas were $40. Their wine, €2. And if only I were a drinker. But those were fun days. I've got to get back to Paris. All right, so we're just waiting for the jurors and waiting for your client.
Okay.
And they tell us it's a backlog, so. But Sean, have you started reading Fourth Wing?
I have not, Judge.
You have to.
I will. I just haven't had time to really.
I'm on book 2. It's called Iron Something, and my heart is racing because there's a lot of foreshadowing going on. Stop with the foreshadowing. So I'm like,